What is going on, everybody? And you know, it's bad that I didn't check what episode this is, right? I think it's episode 8.
Yeah.
Episode 8. We're here for episode 8. As that's not episode 8. That's the YNW Melly double murder trial. But we don't need to look at that right now. We're here for episode number 8. My name's Lucas Cohen. This is Rohan Borges.
What's up, everybody?
We're boys. We do this podcast called The Hook Shot, and we're here, and we have so much to talk about. This is going to be a long one, man. This is going to be a long one, and I'm really looking forward to it. We just got to get right into it, and I know I say that every time, but especially this time, I'm really eager to talk.
Yeah.
Let's get UFC out of the way, because we got a lot of basketball to talk about. Let's get UFC out of the way. Last weekend, UFC 289, Amanda Nunes retired. Sad to see her go, but honestly, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I mean, like they're finally getting rid of the 145-pound division
Thank
for
God.
the females. That's retiring with Amanda, so that's a step in the right direction for the UFC. But what an illustrious career. The one thing I will say, I think she dominated Irene Aldana. Like many of Amanda's past opponents, she froze. She had no idea what to do, and it was pretty boring, actually. Amanda was just kind of controlling the fight the entire time.
Yeah.
But Juliana Pena, what is this beef that she has?
She's
got
got
to
to shut the fuck up, bro.
Oh my God,
She's gotta
she's
shut
become
up.
like the most annoying personality in UFC because she just can't keep Amanda's name out of her mouth, and she's acting as though she didn't get absolutely pummeled into the canvas the last time they fought.
She got
like
demolished.
It wasn't even close.
And
so.
you know, fair enough. I mean, she had her one win.
Yeah, like she got the
but
win,
it was just so obviously a fluke.
Yeah.
And you know, I'd be upset too if I was her. You lose your money fight. Who's
That's
gonna
true,
make?
that's true,
and you
true,
know,
that's true.
Amanda Nunes doesn't even sell in the first place, but she
Yeah.
is the double champ. That is something.
I mean, I feel like people would have
But who
paid to watch the
cares?
trilogy.
Who? Do you feel like people would have paid?
Maybe. I mean, just because
I wouldn't have paid. That shit would have gone to the streamies.
Yeah, no, me. Not saying me. I'm saying.
Jesus.
But,
Yeah. No. That I think it's the perfect time for her to retire. There's
me
really
too.
nothing else
Yeah,
left.
she's beaten everybody there is to beat the biggest names you could think of in the women's division. And I mean, the only regret that I have about this, or the only thing I lament, is that we didn't get to see Amanda versus Valentina again. That's the one thing I wanted to see.
Yeah,
but Valentina
for sure.
has her own problems to deal with. She got to get that belt back if
sure.
she, So, what a career, Amanda Nunes. Congratulations. And
Why do people say Nunes?
Nunes.
She's not
Nunes.
Spanish.
Yeah, you're right.
Nunes.
Amanda Nunes, the
There you go.
lioness. But yeah, an incredible career, and she dominated as we expected.
For sure.
Well, I didn't expect that, actually. I picked her as an upset, but she just did not look like she wanted to be there at times, which was really annoying.
It was crazy, man.
When these fighters get these title opportunities, the opportunities of a lifetime, the opportunities they've been putting all this hard work into for, and then they don't show up at all, it's really frustrating as a fan, because, obviously no one could be more frustrated than Irene Aldana, but dude, like, you got to show up and at least give the refs like something to look at. She was just... up until the 5th round, I guess, she was just not throwing anything. So,
And it was interesting because in that first round she had her moments too.
yeah, I thought so too.
Like, it looked like Nunes was coming in, no defense, and I was like, maybe Aldana could score a knockout, but she just froze.
Yeah.
She had her success too. It's not like she was frozen for all 25 minutes. She did have her moments in that round 1, but I don't know what happened. I really don't. And that's just a question you could ask Irene Aldana. But enough with that. We'll go over the co-main event quickly as well before we get into this weekend's card. Marvin Vettori versus Jared Cannonier.
Yes, sir.
The odds on this fight, dead even, -110, -110. And we'll just get right into our picks. I'm going to go Marvin Vettori, man. And I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Let me just pull up the career of Jared Cannonier. If you look at his last couple of fights, and he hasn't really faced a wrestler like Vettori. The only wrestler he's really faced is Derek Brunson, and he got taken down 3-4 times in that first round before Brunson gassed. As we all know, Derek Brunson is zero gas tank. Man, I just think this is Jared's time to go down. He had that win against Sean Strickland. Some people thought he lost.
I did too.
It was a super, super close fight. It could have gone either way. I don't think it was a robbery whatsoever, but Strickland could have won that fight. I just think this is Vettori, man. I think he grinds out a decision. I still think it's fairly close. I still think Cannonier has his moments on the feet. I still think he does stuff some takedowns. It's just I don't think he's ready for the youth of Marvin Vettori. I don't think he's ready for the takedowns of Marvin Vettori. He will be partially ready, but the chain wrestling, man, I do like Marvin. I like Marvin to mix it up. His granite chin's going to help him a fuck ton because, Jared's going to be looking for that one punch, and that's just something you cannot do against Marvin Vettori. He has pillow fists, but he has a granite chin. I mean, this guy, I don't think I've ever seen him rocked.
This is a good fight, man, and it's again with the top 5 in middleweight. It's a lot of repetitive fights and matchups that
Yeah.
get talked about and
For sure.
made. But this is an intriguing one. You know, Jared Cannonier, last time out, he looked really good.
I'm interested
against
to hear
Sean
your
Strickland.
pick on this, man.
Yeah, so I'm picking Cannonier. This is
Really?
why,
Wow.
and my reason is I remember vividly watching that Roman Dolidze versus Marvin Vettori fight.
Yeah, he did
and I
look
was really not impressed with Marvin.
career worst.
Yeah, that was not his best fight. On the feet, number one, I don't think he was the fastest. That's the first thing that stood out to me is he looked really slow on the feet, and he fought at he's always fought at middleweight, so that's like he usually looks faster than that than he did in his last fight. And also, he wasn't pushing the action to try to get that takedown as much as I thought he would. And against a guy like Roman Dolidze, who's not a bad wrestler, but he's not that's not his department either. He was content to stand and bang. I was a little shocked that he didn't try at least to get the fight to the ground more often. I think he will do that against Cannonier, but to your point, Cannonier has adequate takedown defense, and I think he can do enough to keep this fight on the feet for the majority of the time. And I just think he's the better striker, guys. If we're being blunt here, if I want to simplify this fight, I think Cannonier is a much better striker than Marvin Vettori. He mixes it up way better. He's faster. He gives different looks, and I just think that his cardio is also on par with Marvin. So I think this goes to decision. I think it takes all 5 rounds to decide, but I do see Jared Cannonier pulling out the victory.
Yeah, fair enough. What I noticed from that Roman Dolidze fight is Vettori kind of wanted to counter strike, and it was interesting because he does not have nearly enough power to counter strike.
Yeah.
But it made sense. Dolidze is a guy who comes forward, no striking defense, and he did look career worst, but he was still accurate. He was really probably one of his most accurate fights. It just ended up being a close fight. I still think he got the job done. I see a lot of people thinking he lost. I don't agree with that. I think he won 2 rounds pretty clearly. But man, as I said, I just don't think Cannonier's ready for the takedowns. And when you gave your description, I just don't think that's something that you thought about. I just think that he won't.
He didn't push the recipe for beating Roman Dolidze for Marvin was to take him down, and I thought he lost that fight.
he's a beast on the ground though, Dolidze.
Yeah, but
he's got everything.
I mean, yeah, but Jared Cannonier, we saw in his last fight, he got taken down, or one of his last fights.
Cannonier Brunson, man, he was getting
again. Brunson stops at nothing to get that takedown, though. He will push that pace until he gets that takedown. That's the only thing he wants to do. Exactly. But Marvin is not that. He's not always looking to take you down. Against Paulo Costa, you could take Paulo Costa down if you want. He didn't try to do that. He beat him on the feet. I think Marvin is going to try to stand and strike with Jared. And if he does try to take Jared down, it's not like Jared has bad takedown defense to the point where he's like guaranteed to get taken down. Like he has good takedown defense, and I just don't see this being on the ground the majority of the time. It's a 5-round fight, and things tend to progress a little slower in 5-round fights, and I think it's going to stay on the feet. And if Marvin falls down in some of those early rounds, like round 1 and 2, he goes down because he can't get the fight to the ground. Then he starts getting a little desperate and going for a finish. And I just don't see him having enough power to do that.
I think it's gonna be close, man. I think it's gonna be close.
What's
fair
the line?
enough.
What's
It's
the line
dead
again?
even. Minus 110. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I just think Vettori. I think it'll be close. Don't get me wrong. I think it will be close. I just think those couple takedowns that Vettori scores. Don't come into that room, please. I just think those couple takedowns he does score will be the difference for Marvin Vettori. I really do. But I do see what you're saying, and that was a great point you made about Brunson. Putting all his all into those takedowns.
He puts all the chips on the table. He needs to get that takedown. He's always gambling. If he doesn't get it, then it's over for him.
But Vettori is great cardio, and he's great at mixing it up, and he also has the youth in this matchup. Cannonier 39, Vettori 29. It's a 10-year difference. It's going to be big.
That's true.
We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great fight. That's really all we've got. I mean, we could go over just really quickly a couple other fights on the card. Arman Sarukian, just gonna absolutely run through his opponent, Joaquim Silva. I haven't seen too much of him, but this Sarukian's on a completely. He's just on another level.
Yeah, no, he's really
that's
good.
all. You don't even gotta say anything. I mean, we both know it's gonna be a Sarukian finish. Besides that, nothing really to talk about, man. It's just a bunch of fun fights. Should be fun. Co-main, main. There's a lot of talent there. Looking forward to it. It's gonna be great. That's really it for UFC. As always, premium Discord, 50% off. Go check that out. We could talk about NBA, man. We'll just do a little NBA Finals recap as the Denver Nuggets got the job done. And guys, I might not be here today if the Miami Heat ended up winning the NBA Finals.
True.
I just Oh my God, if that happened, fuck.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean,
Jesus.
other than my dad, I don't think I know another Knicks fan with as much hatred towards the Miami Heat. So I know you're brimming.
Oh, your dad hates them too?
Oh, he despises them.
Yo,
bro. Like, even worse.
did you tell him that?
No, I told him. It's because for when he was growing up, that was around the time where Pat Riley was Miami, and there was always. I think they played each other in the playoffs. Yeah, 4 straight years, and the Knicks beat them once as the 7th seed. But there was a lot of fights, so yeah, bad history between the two. But Denver got it done. How you feeling,
I'm
man?
happy. I'm so happy. If you guys don't know, Denver's my second favorite team besides the New York Knicks. Back in 2011 or 2012 when the Knicks traded their entire team for Carmelo Anthony. That was a team I really fell in love with. The Knicks team I fell in love with being a New Yorker. And man, they traded that entire team for Carmelo Anthony. And I was super sad. So I started calling the Denver Nuggets the Denver Knicks or the New York Nuggets. And, they sucked for a little bit, but then they drafted Nikola Jokic and everything seemed to change, man. And I'm just so happy. Whenever the Knicks weren't in the playoffs, I tuned into Nuggets games. And there was a lot of pain. They never even reached the NBA Finals. This was their year. I knew as soon as they beat the Suns that they were going all the way. I knew it. I knew it was a lock. There was no way. This team, they just looked so good. They were just on a different level. They're on a different level compared to every other team in the NBA. Am I right or am I right? Or am I wrong?
I really can't argue that point. I mean, it was pretty evident as the playoffs unfolded. Their roster, when you look at the stars, Nikola Jokic, the best player in the league, I think he cemented his spot. I was a little late to the party to call him that or to give him that title.
Thank you.
No, he earned it, and
he earned it.
When somebody gives you no choice but to recognize them as the best, that's cool to see, man. And he did that this finals, man, this year in its entirety. He was just otherworldly, man. Every year, every game, just stepping on the floor, giving his all, triple doubles every night, basically efficient scoring. The guy is unreal, and Jamal Murray to come back after such a devastating injury and basically
happy
perform
for him,
at the same level, man. Like, he was incredible. But what surprised me and what I was most impressed with on Denver's front was their defense, bro. For them to completely turn the script, because throughout the regular season, everybody was giving them, a lot of flack. Even though they were the number 1 seed, they were like, they're not doing shit in the playoffs. Because look at this defense. You have Jokic as the anchor. He's a terrible defender, and which he's not. And this playoff run has proved that he's done a great job. But man, everybody on Denver, from Aaron Gordon to KCP to Michael Porter Jr., who's had some great defensive performances. But Aaron Gordon's had to guard.
What
LeBron,
a series
KD.
against Jimmy, man.
Yeah, man. Jimmy Butler, he's having the toughest assignment. He's holding.
I don't think Jimmy dropped a single 30-point game in that entire
No, I don't
finals.
think so either.
Incredible work from Gordon.
Yeah, and obviously, I did not expect Miami to lose in 5. I thought they'd go 6. I thought they'd take 1 at home and then lose the rest. But this is no slight on Miami whatsoever. They had an incredible season. It took a lot of guts to get to where they did, to beat the number 1 seed, the number 2 seed, who everybody thought was invincible in the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics. They beat both of those teams. They beat the Knicks, of course. But they had a phenomenal season, but they lost to the better team. Denver was just, man, and what a great job by Michael Malone as well. He did a great job coaching. So. And
one thing I want to bring up before we move on to the next thing I'm just gonna backtrack a little bit when you were talking about Nikola Jokic finally, establishing himself as the best player in the NBA.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody always thought of him as that triple double big man guy, which is the best thing you could be called. A guy who's getting triple doubles. But I think what really made NBA fans say, "Wow, this guy really is the best," is that he proved he's a top scorer in the NBA as well.
Yeah.
The on the brightest stage, this guy showed off how dominant he is in the paint. It's absolutely ridiculous. I feel like I saw him miss maybe 1, 2, or 3 shots in the post the entire playoffs.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. The soft touch this guy has, and the shots he made against the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Those fadeaways. He proved himself not just to be that big man who has triple doubles, who's a fantastic passer, but that he's an elite scorer too. And I think that really put him over the top.
Yeah,
So I'm just gonna fix him real quick. Go ahead, though. I'm listening.
During the regular season, I feel like a lot of times he takes a sort of a backseat, and not like an entire backseat to Jamal Murray or anything, just a backseat in the sense that he loves to get everybody involved, and he has said multiple times that he enjoys facilitating and dishing out assists more than scoring. But I feel like when he needs to, and when he feels like he has to, he can do it with the best of them, man. He is the best scorer in the league right now. He's the most efficient scorer in the league. The dude he shot under 70% maybe like once or twice in the series. It's just like every game it's efficient. It's 1 or 2 steps ahead of the defense every time he is. He is
something else.
Something else. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I think they have this team with the age of their core. Jokic is still 28 years old. Jamal Murray a little younger. Aaron Gordon's not young.
And
not old.
MPJ, that starting lineup.
Yeah.
That's what I say, man.
Yeah.
The complete starting lineups don't even have to have the depth.
Yeah, and I think this team is going to be around for a long time.
I think they could go back to back.
Yeah.
They could definitely go back to back. 100%. They could. Bro, they have to be the favorite. Are they the favorite?
Yeah, no, they're already the favorite for next year.
They
And I
have
think
to be,
well
man. They
deserved.
have to be. They're just. How many games did they lose in the playoffs? 4.
4 total.
That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Only one at home.
They
home.
swept the Lakers,
That's incredible.
and everyone say, "Oh, they're the 7th seed."
Yeah.
Bro, the Lakers beat the defending champs fairly easily.
For anybody out there that's
questioning
pointing to
this,
their playoff run,
you saw
and
that
saying,
Legion Hoops
I saw,
tweet.
and
So
Lakers,
stupid,
yo,
man.
Legion
So
Hoops,
fucking stupid.
Legion Hoops
Fuck
is one
Legion
of the
Hoops.
worst accounts on
Legion
Twitter.
Hoops, suck my dick. Fuck you.
It's such a Lakers fan page, but that they were like, "Oh, did the Nuggets have a easy schedule because they beat the 8th seed, Heat, the 7th seed, Lakers,
Shut
the 4th
the
seed?"
fuck
No, bro,
up,
they beat Kevin
me
Durant,
off.
LeBron James, Jimmy Butler. These were teams that got hot at the right time, man. There's no seeding luck in this, man. Denver took care of
No
business.
luck. You look at
Yeah.
I saw a comment. Just look at the stars. Fuck the number
Yeah.
seeds. Jimmy Butler, LeBron James, Anthony Davis,
Yeah,
Chris
they
Paul,
just-
Devin Booker, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
No fluke
LeBron.
run. No, they're gonna be around for a while, and this was legit as it gets.
Legit. And I think they are, no doubt about it, the favorites to repeat just because how much of a team they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see the camaraderie, the brotherhood from the coaching staff all the way down to
Even
to
Bruce
bottom of the
Brown,
bench.
who could have got the fucking bag from any other team,
Yeah.
got the bag. He's already said, "I'm staying in Denver." Sometimes it's more than the money. He
Yeah.
already said it.
That's big time too, and he was phenomenal in that
Incredible.
Game
Sealed the
7
deal.
pick. Yeah, he came up with the biggest rebound of the game, man. And damn, man, I am happy for Denver. It's the first title in franchise history.
Crazy.
And what better way to do
Crazy.
it? You got the best player your team has ever had. Arguably, one of the best centers of all time, leading the way. And Denver, man, they're gonna be around. And yeah, what a win, what a series.
So
what a
happy,
finals.
man. So happy for
And what
them.
a season, right? What an NBA season. I think we had a lot of entertainment this season. I saw a lot of people calling it the funniest season in a while. We had
There's
stepping
so
on
much
chest.
shit.
We had Joel stepping on Grant Williams' head. We had freaking arguments.
And that's
John
just the
Morant
playoffs,
situation.
man.
Yeah. I mean, all sorts of crazy shit. LeBron and Pat Bev back in Boston when that whole foul fiasco happened.
And
that was funny.
yeah. And as much as it pains me, you have to give credit to the Heat. As much as I hate them, as
no
much as
question.
I hate their guts. I mean, I despise them. Yeah, I mean, you just have to. This is a team that lost a play-in game.
Yeah.
A play-in
that just
game.
gets lost so much,
And
but that
they
is insane.
made it to the finals. I mean, as much as I hate the Miami Heat, yeah, you gotta give them respect for that shit, man. I mean, what an incredible run. But you lost. You lost. Denver Nuggets are your NBA champions. Wraps
sir.
up the 2023 NBA season, and it feels like the right team won.
Yeah,
that's
no,
how we can
the
agree
best
on.
team won. I think so too.
The best team won. NBA draft coming up
A week, man. That's
June 22nd.
shit.
And we can kind of talk about two things here, as there's a lot of trades that could possibly go
Yeah.
on. And then there's obviously the draft. This is going to be such an exciting draft night. So we'll start with our top 10, who we predict going top 10. And then we can also, as we go, talk about trades and whatnot.
Yeah.
As for example, the Portland Trailblazers, they could be getting rid of that pick. And they probably will be getting rid of that pick, considering, Damian Lillard kind of has them in a chokehold right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in our shorts video, we counted down from 5 to 1, but we could just start from number 1. I mean, obviously Victor Wembanyama, he's a franchise-changing player. This
Yeah.
guy is gonna go in the Hall of Fame, and he hasn't even stepped foot in the NBA. This guy is just simply something else. I mean, is there something I'm missing about this freak of nature?
Yeah, that's exactly what he is. A freak of nature. He can do it all. 7'5", the tallest player in the league he's going to be. And he has every tool in his bag to be one of the all-time greats. So I expect him, in this path that he's on with Pop as his head coach and Manu and Tony and Tim to mentor him. I think that's a perfect landing spot exactly. And I think he's going to be great for them. So yeah, that's number 1. That's already settled.
And you have such a great prospect going number 1, but man, the rest of the draft is still
Yeah, it's
so
a
exciting.
stacked draft,
and
man.
as
It is.
I've said so many times, this is like the best top 3 we've ever seen ever.
Yeah, the more and more you say it, the more and more I'm starting to be like, yeah, top 3. I mean, if you talk, because a lot of times in the top 3, there's one player that shouldn't have ended up being there, but these 3 guys all deserve. In other drafts, could all go number 1. So, I mean, yeah, I think number 2, Charlotte Hornets. They have a tough decision on their hands. What do you think for them?
I feel like they're forced to go Scoot Henderson here.
Really?
I do. I feel like
Because
they're.
all the reports are saying otherwise.
I know they're saying otherwise, but I just think when it comes down to draft night, you're gonna see the talent and the upside of Scoot Henderson. And don't get me wrong, Brandon Miller's gonna be an all-star in my eyes. All three of these guys are going to be incredible, and I 100% believe that. I just think I just think the ceiling is just out of this world. I mean, this guy is, in my eyes, just a Ja Morant 2.0, man. I mean, you put the legal troubles, or not even legal troubles, the bullshit aside. I just think this guy he's going to be an incredible guard. I think he's going to step in and be a top 10 point guard in his first year. I really do believe that. I think they're going to be forced to choose Scoot Henderson. And the great thing about him, and he even said it himself, he can play off the ball. I wouldn't be surprised if they go Miller, as that's what they really need. But yeah. I just think they will be forced to go Scoot Henderson just because there's so much upside, and I also think they're going to be a little bit scared of what's going on with Miller. I mean, he's got that whole gun situation.
That's true.
But man, it's going to be a tough decision for them. But I just think all in all, on draft day, they're just going to have to go Scoot. But give me your honest opinion. I want to hear what's going through your mind with this number 2 overall pick. I want the who do you have the Hornets? Bro, take the floor, bro.
I got them taking Miller.
Really?
And the reason
Tell
is,
me why.
Well, first of all, I think recently we've seen a lot of reporting. You know, Jonathan Givony of ESPN is his latest mock draft had Miller going 2, and a lot of people are saying, you know, he impressed the Hornets in his workout on Monday. You don't draft for fit when you're drafting in the top 3, but in this case, I feel like both Scoot and Miller have, you know, the tools to be kind of the same level of you know, tier player in the league. Like I don't think that either one of them projects to have one ceiling that's so much more higher than the other. So I think for the Hornets, they have, you know, 2 viable choices here. There's no really wrong pick, is what I'm trying to say. However,
not at all. I agree with that.
I
Great
do
point.
think
Go ahead.
that, you know, if you're looking at the roster and they just, you know, they have LaMelo at the point guard, and there's still a lot of uncertainty regarding Miles Bridges' situation.
Definitely.
They are very shallow at the small forward position right now. It's Gordon Hayward and nobody else. And Gordon Hayward's not, you know, projected to be any better next year than he was this year. So I think that the logical pick for them right here would be Brandon Miller. I just think that he fits with LaMelo's game style a lot better than Scoot. And I think LaMelo is a player that loves to have the ball in his hands, and he's not really as comfortable, you know, as Scoot may be playing off the ball. Like, I don't think LaMelo is going to flourish off the ball as well as Scoot may. So I think if you want to keep the ball in LaMelo's hands, have him be the floor general. I think Brandon Miller is a great complementary piece. You bring him, he's a great wing player. He projects to be like a Brandon Miller, Paul George, KD type of player. You know, a player that can just create their own shot from the wing. I think that complements somebody like LaMelo a lot better than somebody like Scoot. So I think that's where they'll end up going. But I think, you know, either pick is a good choice. So.
Yeah, definitely great points there.
But they can't fuck this up. Let me say one thing. They cannot fuck this up. The Charlotte Hornets have had like one of the worst draft histories I've ever seen. Some of it's been unlucky.
Imagine they just take Asar Thompson.
Like the Charlotte Hornets, and they're, you know, Michael Jordan's always getting some bullshit around it. But they have to nail this pick, man, because like, and I don't, like I said, I was just saying that there's no, you know, wrong choice, but maybe there is a wrong choice, they really have to get this correct. So, you think Scoot's going to be the better player? So
I just think,
by your logic, that he'd be the best pick. But,
one more thing about it is I think the Hornets are trying to steer away from the reputation they've gained of like drafting all these criminals. Like first with Boo Knight and then Bridges, and then maybe if they take Miller, there's some more bullshit. And no matter what team Brandon Miller goes to, I don't think he has any other legal troubles. I really don't. But I still think they're trying to steer away from that. That's the last one I'll mention about the number 2 pick. But I just think the Hornets, they go best player on the board, most talented player on the board. And it's close. It's super close. But I just think they give it to Scoot.
When you say most talented, I think that's where it gets a little fuzzy, because like Brandon Miller has
he could be more talented,
but and the skill to be possibly a better talent than Scoot.
They cannot fuck this pick up. I agree. No matter who they take, it's going to be a fantastic pick. But I just think they end up going Scoot. But as you said, all the signs I'm seeing tweets, you know, they're gonna go Miller. So I don't know.
I think it's really up in the air. The one thing I will say, I don't think there's it's gonna lead all the way up into draft night, and I don't think there's gonna be any final decision. We're not gonna see a Shams leak, you know, days before, like, oh, the Hornets are guaranteed to select. I think they're going to take their time because they know how important this pick is. But yeah, I think I'm struggling to project who will be the better player, because it does take point guards a little
Definitely.
longer to develop at the NBA stage. So Scoot could run into some trouble if he is automatically taking on those point guard responsibilities. But I think Brandon Miller coming into a complementary role would be better for him. So yeah.
Yeah. And we don't really have to discuss who's going 3 because we pretty much already said it. I'm going to go Brandon Miller. He's going to go Scoot Henderson. But what we will talk about is this pick going to get traded? And, we'll only do the top 5 here because, we're talking so much.
Yeah, true.
So we'll just do the top 5.
Yeah, we give detailed explanations about the top 5.
But we could just talk about what are the Blazers going to do with this pick? In my opinion, they have options,
Yeah.
They could... I don't know. Who are they going to trade this pick to if they trade it? I'm seeing the Wizards. Maybe they want Bradley
now
Beal.
all of a sudden today,
we
a
can talk
report
about
dropped
this.
that-
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go talk about this. I check this camera. Talk about Bradley Beal.
I've seen a lot of people, or a lot of teams around the league, reportedly have interest in this pick. And, the Warriors are a team that recently came up as a team that possibly could be interested in moving up in the draft. And they have young pieces to make that work.
So many
Jordan
teams
Poole,
that could
Doug
pull it
Kuminga.
off.
The Raptors have
Definitely. Siakam.
cemented star players in the league. Fred VanVleet, Siakam, but Fred VanVleet's a free agent now because
Yeah.
he just declined. But there's a lot of teams around the league that have movable pieces. The Timberwolves, the Karl Anthony Towns, I could see them trying to do something to move up. There are a lot of teams, but I do. What are you asking me? Where do I think this pick will get traded?
What's going to happen with this pick, period?
Oh man, I mean, what's gonna happen? I don't know, because Portland is one of the most confusing franchises in the league. But
Yeah,
what I think
definitely
should
that.
happen, or what I think they should do, is
Trade
just,
it. Trade the pick.
No,
End
don't
it.
trade this
No.
pick. Just select freaking whoever's there for you, because this player is gonna be,
But how is
generational
Scoot
talent,
gonna?
likely.
If it ends up being Scoot, as
No.
as you've predicted, you just said
Yeah.
Scoot's gonna go number 3.
And
Let me move this a little
if
closer.
the Blazers are handed Scoot Henderson on a silver platter because the Hornets.
But how is that gonna? They'd have to make some sort of trade.
Yeah, the trade to make is not with a pick though. The trade to make is get rid of Damian fucking Lillard, man. Get him out of there. You keep the pick and you build around the pick. You keep Simons. He's a great 2 guard. You already have in place.
Yeah.
Nas Little. You got young players there. You got to get rid of Damian Lillard. They have to
I'm
move
with
on.
you. If Scoot falls into the lap,
Yeah, they
which
have to.
I don't think will happen, but it could very, very well. 45-50% chance it
Yeah.
happens. 50%, man. It's so 50-50 who the Hornets will end up taking. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's time, bro.
Yeah.
Get that dude out of here, man. Like
Get
for
him
his
out.
sake, for our
and
sake,
he's
bro.
got
I'm
them in a
tired of hearing about
chokehold
it.
too. Pack him the fuck up. Send him to
Yeah.
Miami. I don't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
exactly. I think the Heat are a trade option there for you. You want to get him out of there and on a different coast, in a different conference. Go trade him to Miami. I don't know, man. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the fucking Damian Lillard trade rumors every year. And if they like I said, if they get a chance to get Scoot, I mean, we're right now we're telling you who we think will get traded. But if I was in the Hornets position, I would take Scoot probably over Brandon Miller, just because of like the whole talent thing and but yeah. So if Portland gets a chance to take Scoot, I just think that they gotta do it, and they gotta trade Dame because
I couldn't have put it better. I'm not even gonna say anything. You beautifully described all the scenarios, and I do agree that's what ends up happening. But what if Scoot gets taken second? Then what?
Yeah, that's the
Tell
thing.
me.
So there's if Scoot gets taken second and they're forced into a situation where they either have to draft Brandon Miller or trade that pick, then you could see it get a little interesting. But I also think in that situation, I think Damian Lillard has voiced his support of Brandon Miller as a player. He thinks he's a good talent to play alongside of him, and for some reason Dame doesn't seem as eager to get out of Portland as we might have considered at this stage of his career. Like, he still seems like, and it might be one of those situations like a Bradley Beal where it's just he has such a deep connection to the city that he just can't see himself anywhere else. But he seems like he wants Portland to continue to try and build around him, which is just insane to me. But if you're going to try and do that, I don't think Brandon Miller is a bad place to start.
I think it's perfect, man. You look at that starting lineup. I've said it so many times. Lillard, Simons, Miller, Grant, Nurkic.
Yeah,
and I get the defense is an issue, but that's just so star-studded.
It's just, I don't know, man. Portland, I mean, look at their starting lineup this year. Their starting lineup this year was Lillard, Simons, Nurkic, Grant,
and then like Reddish or Sharp
and Hart. It was Hart at the beginning until they got traded. And that on paper is a good lineup, but they got them only to like 10th in the conference after a good start to the year. They fell off.
But Miller's good, man. We got to see how he fits in the NBA.
Listen, the bottom line is this, bro. For the Portland Trailblazers, this is all they need to know. you cannot win a championship with Damian Lillard as your best player and nobody else, you know,
What are
as
they
an
gonna do,
all-star
man?
around him. You can't do it. So I don't know what they need
Send him
to
out-
do.
send him
what they
away.
need to see. You got to get rid of him, man. You got to send him
To
out.
Miami he goes. To
Yeah,
South Beach he
exactly.
goes.
I think that'd be a great fit.
I think that's what ends up happening. But one thing we can agree on, they have options, just like the Hornets have. They can't fuck up that pick. The Blazers, they have options. They could take the best player on the board, which is
Yeah.
either Miller or Scoot, or they can do a trade, whether it's trading Lillard or trading the pick. They're gonna do something, and I'm looking forward to it. And you know, we'll do 4 and 5. And sorry about that, our camera died, folks. But we're here. You heard our picks for 1, 2, and 3, and we can just go over 4 and 5 real quick. 4, I think we both agree on this, and I feel like besides Victor, this is the only lock of a pick in the top 5.
Yeah.
Give me Amen Thompson, number 4, to the Houston Rockets. I think he fits perfectly there. You know, obviously the Rockets are super disappointed. They didn't land that top 3 pick, but I think Amen definitely
Yeah.
works out perfectly for this young squad. What do you
That's
think?
my pick too. Yeah, I think Amin Thompson is the pick for the Rockets here. I think he provides them with a great two-way ability right off the bat. He can slide right in at the 3. And I think there's something about him, his demeanor, right? His calm personality that can really offset some of those flashy personalities that the Houston Rockets have across their team. Sengun is like that even, but KPJ and
Yeah.
Jalen Green are the most obvious
Nuts.
players that fit that description. But I think Amin's going to come in with a real poise about his game, and I think he's going to make an impact right off the bat. I think it's a phenomenal pick for them, and that's the pick for them.
And then number 5, we've been talking about this. I think it could be, there's 2 options here. It could either be Asar Thompson or Cam Whitmore.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, my prediction here, by the slightest of margins, I think the Pistons are going to end up going Asar Thompson, another team that is super disappointed they didn't get a top 3 pick.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Asar. But, you know, my final prediction is going to be Asar Thompson / Cam Whitmore. I mean, they can't go wrong with either of these guys. There's so much potential. I think they both end up being great players. And no matter who the Pistons take, I think it's a great fit. But you got to
Yeah.
choose one. And who's your one, Rahan?
Yeah, my one is Cam Whitmore. I think he fits the
Fair
Pistons
enough.
like a glove in a hand. I think, or a hand in a glove. but I think he slides right in at the 3. Like the Pistons, they're set right now. They have a great young core. Cade Cunningham, phenomenal future as a point guard. Jaden Ivey, same thing. They just brought in Monty Williams on a great big deal contract to bring him in as the next head coach, and he has a vision, right? They wouldn't have signed him as quick as they did if he didn't have a plan here. And I think you need that scoring punch to insert into your starting lineup. Down the line, maybe he might not start off the bat, but I think Cam Whitmore provides that firepower, that scoring ability, that offensive attacking mindset that the Pistons will need. They are already set in the front court. I saw a bunch of mock drafts that had power forwards and centers being taken for the Pistons at 5. That makes no sense, dude. They're stacked
Yeah.
at the front
What-
court.
what sense does that make?
Jalen Duren was incredible down the stretch, and if you don't know, go watch Jalen Duren because he is going to be a problem in the future.
Oh, yeah.
They're set with that. They got Isaiah Stewart, who likes to stretch the floor all of a sudden, so he's going to continue to try to do that. And then they have James Wiseman, who they just traded for. So they are set in the front court. They don't need jack shit in the front court. They need a
Talk that
scoring
shit. Oh, yeah.
forward, and Cam Whitmore will provide
Agreed.
that.
Couldn't agree more. I think wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if they end up going Whitmore. I'm going to slightly lean towards Asar, but as I
Yeah.
said, Asar /
The
Cam
two-way
Whitmore.
ability is definitely on All-Star side. I
Very,
will say that.
yeah,
So
they are
if
very
they're-
similar players
yeah.
as well. Both athletic, both explosive. They can't go wrong with either.
Yeah.
And this is just going to be such an exciting offseason, and it all starts next Thursday, June 22nd. I will be tuned in.
Yes,
One of
sir.
the most exciting NBA drafts. Best top 3. I'll
Yeah,
say
man,
it as
it's
many
gonna be a
times ever.
historic one.
It's going to be great.
Yes,
we have a
sir.
great free agency coming up, as we were talking about before. Chris Paul, that's a whole disaster.
A bunch of names circling the rumors. I think in the next podcast that'll be a big talking point. Is some of
Exactly.
these names: Bradley Beal, Zion Williamson, Chris Paul.
So
a
much.
lot of names being brought up.
There's going to be moves. Brandon Ingram,
Yeah.
you never know. Zion
yeah.
could stay.
Oh, yeah.
You never know. A
Yeah.
lot could happen. But the fun starts this Saturday. UFC.
sir.
We're going to make money. As I said, 50% off premium Discord. And the link of our IG bio and this YouTube video. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This has been episode 8 of The Hook Shot signing out. Deuces.
Peace.